Get to work on a hospital proposition. So urged the St. Mary's Beacon in 1912. In another edition, the paper stated that one of the county's greatest wants was a hospital. And so it was that on March 30th, 1912, St. Mary's Hospital became a reality. It has taken a long time, a century in fact, and a great many people to make our hospital what it is today. Our history is about vision and about the teamwork shown by generations of men and women working together on behalf of our community. Today, everyone takes pride in our hospital. The campus is beautiful. The facilities are exceptionally clean and modern. The technology is state-of-the-art, and the care is uncompromising, based on best practices and delivered with compassion.
You know, we were a fabulous hospital in the late 1980s. We were a great little hospital in St. Mary's County, and just to see the changes that, you know, we're a medical center now.
We've gone from a small country hospital, which is sort of a first aid station, no staff in the emergency room, to a first-class primary care hospital.
It's really impressive. I think you'll find that St. Mary's Hospital now is one of the finest small hospitals in the country.
But this wasn't always the case. St. Mary's Hospital had humble beginnings born of individuals with a big dream. To have a hospital that would serve the county's citizens, our founders understood the need, and a two-story frame house on Fenwick Street in Leonardtown, Maryland is where it all began.
One of the things that stimulated the formulation of a St. Mary's Hospital was a result of children who needed surgery were often put on a steamboat and sent to Washington to have the surgery, which was quite an ordeal.
In 1915, a new hospital was built along Route 5. In 1931, an annex was added to that structure. This facility served the county well until the 1940s, when the population swelled with the arrival of the Patuxent Naval Air Station. As a result, a new brick hospital was built in front of the original frame building, and the two buildings were connected by a corridor. During the ensuing years, 5 different building projects helped the hospital keep pace with a growing community and greater demand for services. In 1956, a new wing, the East Wing, was added. In 1966, the original frame structure was torn down and a 2-story brick addition was built.
Driving need for the expansions back then were what we needed to care for the patients and the increasing need for the patients, trying to do that fiscally responsible.
The new wing, added to what is known as the old hospital today, was named the Peabody Wing after Eleanor Peabody. Mrs. Peabody was an exceptional civic leader and a tireless volunteer. She rarely took no for an answer and was instrumental in helping the hospital progress.
They didn't have fundraisers then, they had Eleanor Peabody. You couldn't think of St. Mary's Hospital 50, 60 years ago without thinking of Eleanor Peabody.
And she had a silver bowl, and she took it with her everywhere, whether it was somebody else's party or what, and she put it up with a sign, "Donations for the hospital."
In general, community volunteers have a long record of service to this hospital, beginning with a women's auxiliary in 1916. Volunteers have done everything from organized food drives during World War II to raising funds for programs and equipment, and offered scholarships for future healthcare workers. They are the dedicated members of our board of directors and of the auxiliary and the foundation, and they've been selfless in their service.
My grandmother, Mrs. Lillian Lee, was one of the founding members of the hospital auxiliary. And in the late 1980s, then I was appointed to the hospital board of directors here. And my mother joined the auxiliary and brought a few of her friends in. So it's been quite the family affair.
And it was a great change that was coming into the community. And of course I wanted to be part of that, but you're supporting something that is vital to the community's health.
With everyone working together, progress continued to be made. But it was becoming evident that more than bricks and mortar required attention. St. Mary's was still evolving.
When I first came to the hospital, I had no idea of what the condition of the hospital was. In particular, I was astounded at the poor financial condition of the hospital.
We didn't have helicopters coming in when I got here.
Couldn't hardly get an ambulance on occasion. It was the rescue squad that used to take the patients.
Well, that was after the hearse.
That's true.
The hearses used to transport patients up to Baltimore or Washington.
I can describe the Department of Pediatrics. That was one big hall with 5 or 6 cribs in it, and I was shocked that each crib was next to each other.
So when I came, I was told, I said that, look, in St. Mary's County, nobody has a time to have a heart attack. Everybody loves community. 4 hours once a month, cardiologist would come. So you have to schedule a heart attack.
Emergency room was fairly small. I was working 24 hours, one physician. I was taking care of everything, starting from infants to somebody who's 90 years old, because I was the only doctor in the emergency room.
What we had our own skills, we had our own abilities, our own talents, and probably our own egos that said, we can do this.
A critical care unit was added in 1973. It was followed by an expansion and renovation of the emergency department. A new era of accountability was introduced. St. Mary's Hospital earned its first full accreditation from the Joint Commission. Change was becoming the new normal.
When we first came down here, there was only diagnostic-wise x-ray. That's all we had, plain, simple x-ray. I had been used, as my brother had been used to, an entity called nuclear medicine. We were able to bring that facility here to the hospital. We made a lot of very, very interesting and life-saving diagnoses on many times.
Technology has changed significantly. I don't honestly ever remember seeing a computer. Back in OB, the biggest computer you had was the fetal monitor. All the charts were hand stamped with an addressograph. You had a little card. Every patient had their own card, and it's amazing how much technology has taken over and improved healthcare, I think, to a good extent.
I remember when I first came to St. Mary's Hospital, we used glass syringes and metal bedpans, and even then I thought that was funny, and we wouldn't do any of those things today.
In 1984, St. Mary's Hospital opened the doors of a new and modern hospital.
Where the hospital now rests was woods when I was a kid. This is where we hunted. And I recall quite vividly the day the ground was broken for this new hospital.
A good large part of the people in that town, including the medical staff, did not want to move the old hospital. They wanted to put another wing on it. But we only had, I think, $10 million, and we built 100,000 square feet. I mean, it was built on a shoestring. But we ended up finally getting things in. We got a psych unit in, we put the hospice in, pulmonary lab was in, oncology. We actually had a physical therapy department. Well, we had movable x-ray storage. I mean, the shelves moved back and forth. That was up big time then, you know. St. Mary's Hospital, the house that Peter built.
No matter the date in history, one thing has remained constant: the employees' dedication to providing the best care for patients and their families. Each and every person who has worked at or volunteered with St. Mary's remains dedicated to the community.
When I think about what struck me most when I first arrived at the hospital, I would tell you, and it is true today, it is how closely the employees work together and how much they care about what they're doing and about doing the very best they can.
Remembering how kind everybody was, I was really, really young. A lot of the nurses that I worked with at OB were much older than I was, and the techs were older than I was as well, and I just remember how they just kind of took me under their wing, and everybody was really, really wonderful.
Everybody knew everybody, everybody was family, we all looked after each other, and we still do that today.
The nurses and the aides on the floor have always been very, very special people. The people who are in the trenches caring for the patients. They've always been very dedicated.
The situation at St. Mary's was quite different from what we're seeing now. I was first blackmailed in the laboratory. We had quite a bit of tension, animosity, mistrust, and all of that had to be overcome. As a new generation came in, things began to change, and we saw something quite different.
In recent history, led by a new administrator and a dedicated and visionary board of directors, and built on the best of what came before, St. Mary's has achieved recognition as one of the top small hospitals in the region. Electronic medical records were introduced in 2008, and our hospital was among the 1.6% nationwide to fully integrate such a system at the time.
We have created a center of excellence within our community. What you see in a bigger city, we have been able to develop in a smaller community.
We're right up there with the big dogs, so you take pride in that.
And so it was that 100 years ago, the forward-thinking residents of Leonardtown combined their resources to build the first community healthcare facility. In an age when it cost 2 cents to send a letter and a quarter could buy a gallon of gas, St. Mary's County was forming a hospital that today sees more than 55,000 patients in the emergency department alone in 1 year. During the last half of the hospital's 100-year legacy, many moments, both personal and professional, still linger on in cherished memories.
I remember interviewing with the director of nurses, who was Miss Lane at the time. She was just like an icon. Everybody knew who she was, and it was just very different than how you interview today.
My many memories of the hospital, particularly of the many good folks that have been associated with the hospitals, is Dr. Roy Gwyther. Dr. Gwyther is just an institution in this community. I remember Dr. Gwyther was invited to the White House, where Good Housekeeping magazine named Dr. Gwyther the United States Family Physician of the Year. And we're also proud of that. We are now, but we particularly were then.
I remember many, many days coming with my mother to have lunch with Dad in the cafeteria, and just kind of the small family feel that the old hospital had. I didn't realize then some of those same people that she talked about, Dr. Roach, Dr. Fenwick, Dr. Guazzo, Dr. Samadi, who actually delivered me, that I would be actually working side by side with them.
The people that worked at St. Mary's Hospital in those days, to a person, everybody was extremely devoted. Medicine was so different then. Patients and the people that worked at St. Mary's Hospital frequently were daughters or sons or granddaughters of people that had worked there before. So there was just a real warm tradition.
Interesting, when I first drove down the road to come to the place, I was quite impressed with there was a row of buggies, Amish buggies, and flying over them were F-18s. And I thought, well, we really have a difference in culture in this community. We had the first hitching rail in that front door of any hospital in modern Maryland.
From its founding, St. Mary's prided itself on providing the most advanced technology available. And while we have come a long way, our resolve to deliver the best care for our patients, our neighbors, family, and friends remains the same. Over the last century, the hospital has seen significant expansion, an influx of technology, and a host of new services. In particular, the last 40 years have been filled with growth and advancement as St. Mary's Hospital continued to meet the needs of the community. Now, in the year of our hospital's centennial, we can look forward to the next 100 years bearing a new name, one that links our future firmly with our past, MedStar St. Mary's Hospital.
On behalf of all of us at St. Mary's Hospital, thank you for your generosity and your support over these last 100 years.
Well, if I had a glass in my hand, I'd raise a toast to you, St. Mary's Hospital, one of the most phenomenal hospitals in the state of Maryland. Here's to you on your 100th anniversary.
Happy birthday, St. Mary's Hospital.
I wish St. Mary's Hospital and all the great staff and people that have worked here over the last 100 years a happy anniversary, and may the next 100 be as productive and as these past 100 have been.
Happy anniversary.
Happy diamond anniversary, St. Mary's Hospital.
Happy birthday, St. Mary's.
Happy centennial, St. Mary's Hospital. Congratulations.
Happy anniversary to St. Mary's Hospital, but happy anniversary to all of the people who had anything to do with the hospital, past and present, large and small. Happy anniversary to you all.
Happy 100 years, St. Mary's. Thank you for a lifetime of memories.
Happy 100th anniversary.
Happy anniversary, St. Mary's Hospital.
I wish the hospital another 100 years of very effective work and taking care of our patients in St. Mary's County.
Happy anniversary, St. Mary's.
Happy anniversary, St. Mary's Hospital.
I was pleased to be a part of St. Mary's Hospital and to help recognize the 100th anniversary.
Happy birthday, St. Mary's Hospital, and here's to at least 100 more.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, St. Mary's Hospital. 100 years to the day. And many more.